Hello, Mr. Price.
Hello. How's
How
it
you
going?
doing today, man?
Oh, I'm great.
I don't think everyone's ever seen you before, have they?
Maybe not. I'm a little bit of a basement dweller, like to stay hidden,
Okay, well,
behind the scenes
everybody,
kind of guy.
I would like to introduce the absolutely amazing Adam Price. He is our CTO and the herder of cats when it comes to bug killing and the wrangler of devs, and he is generally speaking completely totally awesome. I don't want to take any time away from the really, really, really important stuff that he has to say, so I'm gonna just shut up.
All right, man. Yeah, thanks for that. So I just share my screen, yeah?
Go for it. It's all you. Oh yeah, you should be able to.
Yep. Oh, okay. Let me hold on. Get to the presentation here. All right. So I'm here today to talk about our Gala nodes and what our plans are for the nodes. Now, um, first to introduce myself a little bit, like Jason was saying, I am the Chief Technology Officer here at Gala Games and Sandbox Games as well. So that means I'm the head nerd, I guess. I manage all of the engineers on both sides. You probably know me on Discord. You've seen me under the name Price. Feel free to message me, reach out, talk to me there. I interact a little bit, but definitely not as much as the Bender of Bits and Mr. Benefactor. Um, but so this talk's going to be all about the Gala node. And I think to recap, everybody here probably knows what the point of the Gala node is, but it's how you support Gala games, right? It's how you participate in the decentralized gaming platform that we're trying to build. And I want to talk about where we're going with it because probably you've noticed in the last few months that there hasn't been a ton of new developments with it, but we've got a lot of stuff cooking, and that's what I want to talk about. So coming soon, the next major feature of the Gala soft node, Gala node, is a decentralized content delivery network, and this is a concept that I'm really excited about. Um, we have proven the concept. We've got it kind of working end to end. We know the answers to all the open questions. It's just a matter of kind of polishing it, shoring it up, making sure it's bug free, and then we'll get it in your guys' hands. And it will be an all new thing that the Gala soft nodes will do to support the Gala Games platform. So, how are we going to do that? And the way we're doing that is using a technology called IPFS. It stands for Interplanetary File System. It's a pretty sweet name, I've got to say. I think if the Gala Games platform blows up and gets big enough and we've got enough clout, we could even get, maybe Elon Musk to ship a soft node out to Mars. And so we could get our IPFS content hosted actually interplanetarily. That would be amazing. But, even though we're all on one planet for now,
Can I
it
interject?
is, yes.
Okay, so just so you guys know, this is the point in time where you go tweet at Elon. Okay? So get on Twitter, forward him this stream, tag him, tag people who know him, tag his friends, tag Tesla, okay? Tag everybody so that they're aware that we would actually like to create an interplanetary file system. Okay? We don't have rockets yet.
Yes.
So we need his. So Gala, everybody, the Gala Legion, unify and get some tweeting happen. Let's make this go. Okay, sorry. Continue.
No, that was an excellent interjection. And to be fair, we haven't invented IPFS. This is an open source project. It's pretty popular in the decentralized community, the blockchain community. It's often paired with cryptocurrencies because it is a decentralized platform. It's anyone can participate. Anyone can download an IPFS node and run it. And it has been around for a few years now. I think the first release was in 2015. It's gotten to, I think, what they're calling stable, ready for production release as of last year. So it's new, but it's not too new. And the point, the gimmick, the trick, the whole concept behind IPFS is that it's content addressed. And for a lot of people, that's a big kind of paradigm shift and a difficult mental barrier to get past. But the idea with content addressable storage is that rather than having a URL like google.com, or better yet, gala.games, where there's one person that can always choose what is hosted at that location. That is location addressed. I could go out right now, in fact, I have access to the servers. I could go out and change what Gala.games has hosted on it right now. But the idea with IPFS is it's content addressed. And what that means is in order to get a certain piece of content, you don't ask for it by its location. You ask for it by its cryptographic hash. And that has a couple of really interesting, really important implications. And those are under that bullet point there. So secure, distributed, and fast. It's secure, first of all, because when you ask for a piece of content by its hash, you can guarantee that the content that you're going to get back matches that same hash. It hasn't been tampered with en route. It hasn't been swapped out by some nefarious system administrator like myself that can access the server and change it. It's also distributed. So a lot of the concepts or a lot of the technology behind IPFS was inspired by BitTorrent. And one of the main tricks with BitTorrent is its distributed hash table. Well, there's that hash word again. What the distributed hash table lets you do is maintain a kind of an addressing algorithm, maintaining a dictionary of where content is. Who has this hash? Who do I need to talk to in order to get a hold of the content that this hash represents? And it's fast. And the reason it's fast is because of that distributed nature. When you say, I want the content behind this hash, it's going to ask anyone in the entire swarm. It's a global swarm of thousands of servers. Anyone that has that hash can start to send you parts of it. So if you're in the United States, it might ask for it from someone in your city or in a neighboring state. If you're in Africa, if there's an IPFS node running nearby, or better yet, like we're going to get to, a Gala node, if we're talking Gala content, it will get it locally. So by its nature, it's a decentralized global content delivery network, given that you have your content globally distributed. And that's what we're going to talk about on the next slide. But the POC, the proof of concept, the prototyping's happening now. And our first toe dipped in the water is going to be official Gala content and game assets that we're going to be putting onto IPFS. So, as you can see here, we're going to start to upload the assets for the Townstar game to IPFS. So when you go to galagames.com and click play now, it's going to load it off the decentralized content delivery network. Other parts like official Gala content that we'll put on there would be like the distribution results output. You've got the JSON file, the provably random output of the distribution algorithm that could go on IPFS, all of our assets for our NFTs, all of the images, all of the JSON metadata that powers the building of assets on the blockchain. All of that can be published there as well. And there's going to be some interesting opportunities in addition to that, which I'll talk about later. I feel like I should have warned you guys, but this is going to be fairly technical. Sorry if I'm boring you a little bit, but maybe you guys also like the details. So IPFS started out a few years ago, like I was saying, and I knew about it pretty early on and thought, hey, that's a neat idea. But the thing that I didn't really get the answer to was how to guarantee that a piece of content is available, because it's very possible that when you ask for a cryptographic hash, you say, give me the file for this hash, that no one's online that has it. Like if the person shuts down their IPFS node that has that piece of content, it's unavailable. So any requests to download it will just time out. They'll just error. But lately, a new addition to the IPFS platform is IPFS Cluster. What Cluster lets you do, and this is kind of the trick that makes it really usable to me, the Cluster part of it lets a centralized authority tell a network of decentralized nodes what content to pin. I put pin in quotation marks there. Pin is an IPFS term, an IPFS verb for keep this content around. Like, don't let it get evicted out of the cache. Maybe nobody asks for it for quite a while. So in a general case, maybe the IPFS node would get rid of it to save space or make room for something else. But when content is pinned, it stays available. And with IPFS cluster, you can say pin any amount of content, and then it will interact and propagate that pin set out to all members of the cluster and make it available across the entire cluster. So that's what we're going to do. So when we have, say, a new build of Townstar or this official Gala content that we want to make available on the IPFS network, we'll pin that as the Gala Games cluster authority, and then every soft node on our network will get a copy of that file and make sure it's available. So, the result's going to be that any Gala content, and that's can be anything. I think to be specific, it's files, right? It could be any type of file though, but in the case of Townstar, it's going to be audio files, 3D models, textures, all of the stuff that gets loaded when you click play Townstar and that little progress bar spins around in a circle. But like Eric was mentioning earlier, we've got we're hitting over 5,000 nodes online pretty regularly, and that's going to be 5,000 nodes that make up our decentralized content delivery network around the entire world.
And Adam, how many nodes does Ethereum run right now?
I think it was 11,000 when I looked, so getting close
Yeah.
to that level. And I think I have it on the. I'll say it here. It's going to be much faster. I mentioned the fast part on the previous slide, but right now, the reality is that Townstar is hosted here in Oregon, where Sandbox Games is. And if you're on the other side of the world and you go to launch Townstar, you've got to download a good 80 to 100 megabytes of assets just to get the game running, all the way from the other side of the world. But if there's a Gala soft node near you, you'll get it from them. It's really pretty cool. And then where we can take it in the future. So these, the previous two slides are what we're working on now, and kind of are committed to. We will be building and releasing on a pretty short term. I'm not going to say dates. I know not to do that. But there's a couple of opportunities we've talked about and things we can explore in the future as well. Like partnerships with other third parties. There's a great movement in the IPFS community to host what are called collaborative clusters. So think Project Gutenberg that has a bunch of royalty-free books. I think that's right. Or open data sets for protein folding. Or there was even one in relation to like censored content. Like I think Turkey shut down Wikipedia or something like that, and so they hosted it on IPFS. There's a mirror of all of Wikipedia on IPFS as well. So we would be interested definitely in talking to who might want to make sure that their content, as part of a partnership with them, is available for download all around the world on our network of 5,000 nodes.
It's 5,000 today. But
5,000 today.
that can scale, and it is scaling quite quickly.
Yep. But I mean, 5,000 is a pretty serious content delivery network, globally speaking. Yeah. Yeah. Another thing that we could look at would be, actually rewarding people in the distribution. So, you'll, as part of the IPFS control panel in the soft node, in the Gala node, you'll be able to see how many peers you're connected to, how much content you're storing, how much bandwidth you're sending out. And we'll start to, asterisk, we'll probably start to, we need to figure out the details, but reward people based on those statistics of how their IPFS node is supporting the network. And that would probably manifest as points in the distribution like referrals or plain running of the nodes today. Another place we would go is native IPFS support. So when we go live, we're going to be using an IPFS gateway. And the IPFS gateway adapts internet-based HTTP to the IPFS protocol because they are drastically different. No browser out of the box supports IPFS except, oh, my logo. How did my logo get shifted? Except Brave just last month. This is like hot off the presses, just the end of last month. Added native IPFS support. So when you run the later versions of Brave, you can literally tell it to either download and get an IPFS node to act as your own local gateway, or you'll be able to point it at your Gala node IPFS, your Gala IPFS node. And what that gets you is, cutting out the gateway, cutting out the middleman. I think we'll go live with Cloudflare's IPFS gateway, which I've got nothing but respect and adoration for their platform, what they're doing, and their ability to serve content at high scale. So we'll probably go live with our very first iteration using the Cloudflare gateway, but we we'll be able to, see, do you have native IPFS support, and we'll be able to swap out your URLs for native IPFS links, and that will just work in Brave, which is really cool. And then the last thing is, personal file synchronization. So the Gala node will be your client to IPFS, your window into Gala's content on IPFS. You could put your own content and synchronize it between your Gala nodes. Say you run one at home, you run one at work, you run one at your family's house. And it could, replicate that pin set across those IPFS nodes and make sure all of that content is in every place at every time. Naturally, a caveat here, an asterisk to append to this, is that IPFS is public; it's not private. So don't put your banking spreadsheet in there or stuff like that. But if it is stuff that you're okay with being shared publicly, absolutely a possible feature that we would go for. So that's IPFS. That's what we're working on now. And I'm going to shift gears into what we're working on next, which might be a bit of a contentious point, because I've been in the cryptocurrency blockchain space quite long enough to know that private blockchains or permissioned blockchains are not exactly a popular concept. And I personally, I can be that devil's advocate. I've seen the entries at blockchain hackathons or getting publicity on the internet, and my only answer coming out of the presentations or reading the articles is, why are you using a blockchain? Like, this could just be a shared database. It could just be a private database that then you, on a nightly batch or something, export data and make it public, like we do with the distribution algorithm. There isn't really a lot of argument in a lot of cases to use a private blockchain, but I think we've actually got a really good one, and I'll get into that. So why private?
Can I throw
Yep.
in a tiny interjection here?
Yep.
Okay, using just for the people who are slightly losing their minds right now, that doesn't mean we won't be using public blockchains. Just
Absolutely.
be very clear on that. That doesn't mean like, ha, we're switching everything to private. Ha 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 ha. That's not what's happening. This
Exactly.
so before people they're posting like you. So I just want to make sure that everyone understands that.
You, am I getting ewed? I haven't been looking at Discord.
Oh no no don't look no don't look. They already
All right.
love you, man. They I've
They're
given
not.
them.
Nobody's said anything yet.
Oh
They,
no,
All right.
there's a couple in the thing, but I've instructed them to meme you. So
Excellent.
be prepared.
I look forward to it. But absolutely, that is 100% true. And actually, it makes a big step forward in decentralization for us, because Eric's vision that he's talked about a lot, and I think with us and publicly, is that Gala should be a multi-chain platform. You should be able to choose which blockchain your NFTs or your currency ends up on. And this is actually a big part of that. It's like today, I'm getting ahead of myself, but today we have the treasure chest where there's a temporary storage for all of your assets, all of your tokens, all of your things that you can claim. But what if, instead of just sitting in a database ready for you to claim, they were actually on a blockchain and usable, right? What if you could send them to another person on a blockchain straight from your treasure chest, not paying gas? What if you could use your NFTs that are in the treasure chest while playing Townstar? And I think that's really powerful. I think that's a big part of why the private blockchain makes sense. But I'll get into why we've been talking about this discussion, because I won't say all of this is a foregone conclusion either, or 100% where we're going. Especially with the choice of Hyperledger Fabric or another private blockchain solution. We haven't started prototyping this yet, even. So we're open to discussion, we're open to feedback, we're open to talking about it. But why private? And that is because of our transaction throughput needs and because of gas fees. Those are the two big drivers towards this decision. When Townstar is going to start to support microtransactions, and you need to be able to spend small amounts of money, and you don't want to spend large amounts of gas just to throw a couple of cents at buying a building or completing something early, or if we ever add a central store in Townstar where you can buy maybe a particular craft that you need. It's like you can't pay gas on all of those transactions. And honestly, doing them off of a chain and without transparency sucks. Um, the other aspect of it is that Mirandus is going to be so blockchain integrated. We've talked about every item you create, or every if you're a lord of a village or of a citadel, being able to charge tax on all income generated in your territory. And it's like the number of transactions that's going to generate simply will not work on any of the public blockchains we've thought about so far. Feel free to prove me wrong on that. Send me ideas of public blockchains we could use for that purpose, and I will be super happy to consider it. So what does that mean? Is it decentralized? Yeah. Is it transparent? Yeah. The Gala node will be your pane of glass that looks into the private blockchain we're going to build. You'll be able to see all of your tokens that you own. You'll be able to see transactions as they're happening across the network. You'll be able to see if we add governance support to it. Because like right now, you can vote on ideas, or you can vote with your Gala node licenses. You can put your weight of your support of the network behind what you think we should be doing. But the reality is, right now, that goes into a database, and you have to trust that we're not messing with it. But if it's on a transparent blockchain, that yes, it's private, yes, it's permissioned, but you can still at least see it, make sure the rules are being followed, see who's voting what. Like, isn't that much better? And then I think I mentioned the treasure chest. I kind of jumped ahead, but the other part of that is with treasure chests. So you've got items in your treasure chest right now. You can't do anything with them. Like, we could easily make it so that if you had a balance of Gala coin in your treasure chest, that you could send it to someone else or tip someone else, and we would deduct from you and increment someone else. But I don't want to go there without the transparency. Like, I don't want you guys to just, us cross our fingers and be like, trust us, we're doing what you told us to, and didn't take a percentage along the way or something like that. So the transparency is a huge part of it. And then, is it public? Well, kind of, right? Because the Gala node is going to be the permission to participate in the network, right? So it's not public, but it's also not Gala sitting on top being the only one that can run transactions and act authoritatively across the whole network. So why is this a good thing? I talked about the treasure chest quite a bit. I'll skip over that one. I added this second bullet point because of Nina when she was just talking about user experience and accessibility and the barrier to entry. With today, if you play Townstar and win something, like, in order to use your Gala that you win from playing or use your NFTs, you have to bring Ethereum into the system and mint it on Ethereum, and then you can finally get what you've earned. But who's going to set up a wallet? Who in the mass market, or whose grandma is going to set up a wallet and be able to do that stuff? And it's a huge barrier to getting the casual gamers, the mass market people, into our ecosystem. But if it's on a private blockchain run on our Gala nodes, you'll be able to use everything. You'll be able to just spend your Gala that you've earned in our store, in game via microtransactions. You'll be able to use your NFTs. You'll be able to send your NFTs to someone else on our private blockchain. So it makes it so that you don't need a wallet to get going. It makes it so that you don't need to figure out what Ethereum is and where you can go get it. Like, set up a Coinbase account, go through KYC, give them your bank ACH data. It's like, no one in the mass market is going to go through with that unless they're really all in on the vision. I think I touched on it too already, but the transparent decentralized governance. So it's like, we'll be able to publish, and you'll be able to see every part of the governance process we're going to build as for how Gala games will be managed and what we'll be spending the Gala fund on, or what games we'll bring on board, or all the interesting questions that we want to put to the people and get them involved with. And that last one I already explained as well. So Gala is going to be usable without even touching the Ethereum blockchain if you don't want to, or any other blockchain, because ultimately we will end up being a multi-blockchain platform is the dream, right?
But you can
Adam,
if you want.
Yeah,
Adam, let me ask you. There's a couple other reasons why this might be a good thing, in particular for the node owners.
yeah.
What happens when we start minting Townstar coin, Miranda's coin, Tower Defense game coming coin?
Well,
The
it's going to
node
be minted on our
owners.
private blockchain, and
Yeah.
portions of that will, you know, go to the network. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, we just leave it at that. Let
Yeah.
them slowly digest that concept.
Can I
Yep.
can I answer or put a question out there that there's a lot of people. Oh, question
It's question
time!
time.
It's
Yep.
question time. Oh, perfect. So we have a lot of people saying, well, why don't we use one of the side chains? Why don't we use, I don't know. There's a good half dozen that have been mentioned. Um, if you could discuss just a little bit the scaling challenges that we face in terms of the number of transactions that a single game like Miranda's, for example, could create with all of the blockchain integrations. How many transactions does that look like on a daily basis for a given number of users? If you could just throw that out there, if you have
Well,
thought about it. If you
I mean,
haven't, I'll
I
just
have
keep talking.
definitely. The private blockchain side of things, usually gets into the mid thousands. Maybe up to even 10,000 transactions per second range, but there's no way that that's enough to support even 100,000 players in Miranda's, which I mean ultimately
Correct.
is what we're going for. Like, we're already with a private blockchain going to be having to come up with unique solutions to queuing or batching or how we manage, either the eventual consistency portion of like, I did this thing and I need to see it happen immediately in game, and then it may hit the network a couple of seconds later, kind of thing. So we're already going to struggle with the speed granted by a private blockchain solution.
Right. And the existing solutions out there, the scaling solutions, even if they're working on a couple seconds, if you look at most of these blockchains that are out there, they're even if they can handle theoretically thousands and thousands
Yeah.
and thousands of transactions, in practice they're not right now. And a game like Miranda's with 100,000 players, each of them making transactions basically constantly as part of the entire gameplay mechanism, will break any five solutions that you care to duct tape together.
Oh, it'll be crypto kitties all over again.
Yes, but across the
Jason,
entire
one quick
blockchain
thing.
space. Yeah.
You need to send the Zoom link to Michael. He wants to jump in and join the call.
What? Michael? Who's Michael?
Who's Michael?
Who's that guy? I don't know
So
that guy.
I will say one other thing about the secondary chains or the second layer or the scaling chains, and that is that I also worry deeply about maturity and building a lot of technology around something that loses the blockchain battle. You know, the technology comes and goes all the time, and I would worry about spending 3 to 6 months building an entire technology stack to interact with a blockchain that either has scaling issues that weren't found while they were small or gets abandoned by the development team. And then the second part of it is that I'm a little dubious about our Gala node being processors or miners or supporters of another blockchain. Like, shouldn't it be our blockchain that they're supporting? Like, shouldn't it be our technology that they're running, not hashing transactions that are just random other people? I don't know. I don't know if that's a little bit
Well, Adam,
incendiary.
I mean, we haven't really talked about this publicly much at all, or if at all, but we've talked about building our own blockchain,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
and it would be instantly deployed across the node network, which would be a
Which would
pretty
make it
incredible moment.
instantly one of the largest blockchains in existence.